welcome in to Says Who Sports right now, a man whose name is synonymous with Cleveland, Ohio, a football and life coach whose business is finding ways to give inner city kids an opportunity. He opened the first and only all boys public high school in Ohio, the Ginn Academy, in 2007. Has seen more than 20 of his former players at Glenville High School go on to play in the NFL, including first round picks Dante Whitner, son Ted Ginn Jr., and Marshawn Lattimore. Another of his players, Troy Smith, won the Heisman Trophy in 2006. His Glenville team became the first Cleveland public school to win a football state championship in 22, then followed it up with another one in 23. In Cleveland, the man known simply as Ginn, Ted Ginn Sr. Ted, welcome to Says Who Sports. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Good to be on with you. Long time no see.
Likewise, Ted. Always think about you. As mentioned, your Glenville teams have won back-to-back state football championships. It's football season again. You've been the head coach at Glenville since '97. Do you still enjoy it as much as ever?
Absolutely. I mean, it's what I have to do. This is the assignment that God gave me. Uh, you know, and when you talk about enjoyment, I've been enjoying it forever. It's what needs to happen, and it's just really not about just football. It's just about engaging with young people and educating them and putting them in the right direction, show them how to navigate through the world, and give them an opportunity to play the life game. Uh, and that's just what it is. It just happened to be football.
Ted, you've always preached to kids in the community that they're capable of achieving special things. How have the state championships helped in their own way to reinforce that?
Huh. I just think the state championship only helped everybody else, the fans, and different. I don't think it really stopped. What we teach here all the time. I just think it's just an opportunity to achieve something, to be the trailblazers or win the first state title with this group of kids. But I don't, I don't think nothing has changed or um, in what we trust and believe here. It's just about being able to seize every opportunity for success in your life and recognize it and attack it. The championship was just something that we was able to achieve. I don't think it um, changed the philosophy of what we believe in.
You've said, and you mentioned it, football season for you isn't about the wins and losses. It's about getting, especially 4 months up close with the kids to work with them from that life perspective. Talk about that, Ted.
Yeah, well, I think that football, track, the school, it's just vehicles that we use. It's just the table that we set to be able to give them direction in life and give them a proper understanding on how to achieve great things in life. And that's what we're educating. It's just all those different entities of school and football and track. It just gives you the opportunity to engage. Um, if you didn't have them, what would you be doing? You know, in school, it's only for a few hours, and everybody's on the same page. So every chance that you can get to deal with them besides school, you got to take advantage of it, even though it's a sport. But the main thing is just being able to engage and try to make an impact into the child and change their mindset, and so that they can come into the world and make the world a better place, because that's what it is.
Ted, Glenville's been playing in Division 4 the last few years. enrollment is down. At one point, you had well over 1,000 students at Glenville. Now, what, 300 plus? Describe that battle to keep kids and families in the community.
Well, that's a battle that is hard for me to fight. It is what it is. Our community is dying, and we don't have families here to, they're all moving out. Moving to suburban areas and private areas. We probably have more kids that live in Cleveland and Glenville community that is educated outside, of where they live. And that's just the belief of the parents and the myth that people put on different people. People try and do what they try and do for their kids. Everybody make decisions on where they send their kids to school and stuff because, you really can't blame them. But, don't overlook the best thing that's in your community. And, it's just a tough game, people just want to do the best thing for their children. So a lot of people moving out, and we have to invest in our community to keep people in. And that's the reason that just like in school and high school and stuff like that, you got to have a philosophy. People come to school now for a philosophy. It's not the neighborhood anymore. A lot of people stay in the neighborhood, might go to another neighborhood, go to another school for the philosophy. What is the philosophy in our community? That it's not good.
When you say the myth put on inner city kids, explain that.
I just think that they think that we're not deserving or fundamentally sound enough to be professional people and to be educated. Just that it's just a game that, and it's been here all my life about inner city. We can achieve anything like anybody else. So when you hear that thing, people say, well, why would you send your kid to Glenville or Ginn Academy and stuff like that when you got your suburban areas, the top high school in the state? And but what you rating that on? You know, what have the kids learned? How they know how to work and live in America? I just think education should change because the families are broken, the homes are broken, the neighborhood is broken everywhere. Everybody's sitting around worrying about, I don't care if you live in a gated community, I don't care where you at. We had the concept of raising children and having family type concepts in families, which, I always talk about the table. We was raised by the table. You was raised by the table, John, and I was raised by the table. At the head of the
Ted,
table
sorry,
was your
not
mother,
don't
your
mean to
father.
don't mean to interrupt you. What do you mean by the table? Dinner table?
The dinner table. That's what's missing in the world today. Nobody's sitting at home, and at the head of the table was your mother, your father, and you couldn't negotiate that bad boy. You had to be there in the morning, and then you had to be there in the afternoon, and they better not have to call you. And at the head of the table was your father, your mother, or your grandparents. Somebody was sitting there asking you, how was your day? Did you do your homework? Did you do your chores? It's no more family type atmospheres where you get direction. That's where you got your direction. That's where you got everything. So now I take the football, the track, the school as a table where you teach, they learn. That's where you get your direction because that's what's missing in the homes today. Nobody's sitting down with the children. Nobody's sitting down as a family. Everybody trying to make money and do whatever they doing, and just go on to McDonald's and get you a McDonald's burger and go in your room, play on your game, or Go on and say, "This, you want some money? Go to the store, get you something to eat." We're not sitting down as a family anymore and giving direction, and that's what's missing in the world today. That's the reason the world is the way it is.
Have parents? I know you mentioned the work thing, and and they're trying to provide for the family on one front, but on other fronts, have parents kind of checked out from that family thing? What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, yeah. We all guilty of that. Me, you, everybody else. How many times the kids know that they got to be at the table at a certain time of the day? You know, we all guilty of that. We done let that leave. Family and church was the most thing. When you go back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, it was family. It was church. It was school. You understand? It wasn't social media. You understand? Social media done took, them went to number one. The cell phone is raising our children. You know, you can't do nothing about it. I don't care what kind of parent you are. You know, you try to fight, but that's what you're fighting against. You know, it's the family structure, and everybody's guilty of it.
How do you fight that cell phone absorber thing, the constant attention they want to pay to the cell phone?
Well, first of all, we start in school. We take 300 phones a day as soon as you hit the door. You know what I'm saying? We have a problem with people that don't want to give them up. So you fight it right there. Um, you fight it by me and you sitting here talking. We have to expose people to it. The cell phone is taking over of the discipline that you have as a parent. They Googling everything. They can't come up off of it. You have to continue to work at it. You know, it's a tough business, but you got to be able to recognize that that is what's creating a problem in your house. That's what we're creating a problem with young people. It's creating a problem with everybody. It's the cell phone. You know, you got it in your hand all day. You can't. You're gonna get hit by a car because you somewhere looking on your phone, and it's bad. The likes and the follows, that's not real life. You know, you got to you look. You know, it's just like everybody looking for that, but life is not made off likes and follows. You're gonna have to sacrifice some things in life to be successful. You're gonna have to work hard. You're gonna have to believe certain things before you even see it. You know, you got that's why education is important. You know, other than the math, science, social studies, and English, you got to teach them. You got to show them. You got to let them know. Don't trick yourself, and it's tough.
You've often said it's important to you to make Cleveland proud. You've been in the Glenville community since the late 60s, graduated from Glenville in 74, started as a volunteer coach there in 76. You've had many opportunities to leave and coach at the college level. You've stayed. Talk about what the city of Cleveland means to you, Ted.
It means everything. You know, I've had opportunity, but those opportunities don't mean nothing to me because uh, the opportunity is not as important as is the purpose of why I do it. You know, I'm here to save people and save children. You know, I don't coach for a career. I coach to save lives. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be able to do that somewhere else. And so that's the reason why it's so important for me here. Um, and I had opportunities. I could have went to Dallas, Texas, back in 2006. I wouldn't do it. You know, shoot, they done built a $74 million stadium at that school. You know, and could have made six figures. I stayed here with the 3,500. You know, because it's what you're doing for people.
Ted, what's the biggest challenge about coaching now in terms of how the game itself has changed?
Well, I think the biggest challenge now, I don't think the game has changed. I just think that the people have changed. I think that the way of recruiting and this um, the mindset of kids and parents, and I don't think the kids love the game like they used to. They just play it. Uh, I think that it's just a lot of distractions. You know what I'm saying? And we dealing with an opt out generation. They think they can opt out of everything and receive the same thing or receive greatness. They don't want to do everything it takes to be that national person or that great person. So, if they don't feel like working hard, they opt out of it. We're just dealing with a lot of opt out situations and still think that they're gonna be successful. We believe in working hard and stuff like that. They think, you kind of supposed to give it to them. I just think that they don't recognize the guidance of this program. I just think that they think that it's just easy to be a state champion or to be great or to be a great student or be a great man for the world. It's not easy because they have so many distractions around them, and so many voices. Didn't have all these voices years ago. You know, I could tell them one thing, and they'll go over there, and a trainer or the social media tell them who they are, and I'm telling you, not what you post. You know what I'm saying? You can post this, post that, but that's not you. And I'm trying to help you not to be embarrassed when that time comes, and they're gonna be expecting something different. You know, and you're gonna show them something that not like what you post.
Do you think the work ethic is not there as much from the kids?
It's only there when they with a personal trainer. I think that the concept of how hard you work in on your team and things you have to believe and stuff like that. I think all that stuff getting. I think all this quick stuff and trainers and social media and the way the way the recruiting thing going, and the NIL, and all that stuff, and the portal, just kids not buying. You know what I'm saying? They don't think they have to work for nothing. So they you trying to develop them to be the best that they say they already, and somebody tell them you're already there, and they not. So you got to deal with all that type of stuff. That's a challenge, and on top of the parents,
What are your
you
thoughts?
can't never be, you can never go through what Ted Ginn Jr. went through to be the number one in the country, because you're gonna opt out a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And just stuff like that, man. And then you got to try to swindle the kids to believe. Don't believe that. Believe what I'm telling you. It works. So you deal with a lot of that, bro. You don't
No,
have to do that. You don't have to listen to what he's saying. You you already good. Yeah. You was born good. We trying to be great.
so no substitute. And I love that opt out
It's a challenge.
society. No, no substitute for the discipline and work ethic, right?
Yeah. Don't want to do it. Think they already did it. Think they good already.
What are your thoughts? You mentioned the NIL. What are your thoughts, Ted, on the money factor now in college sports and players getting paid? Were you good with it
I mean, I don't
initially?
have a problem with it. Yeah, I'm good with it. I was good with it initially, but I'm not good with it because how they give it to them. I think it should go in escrow, and you don't get it till you get older. and keep you disciplined into the situation on the team or whatever you at, wherever you at. I just think that they're too young, too immature to handle that money and don't want to put the work behind. And I think that they'll screw it up. That's just me.
Part of your approach at Ginn Academy is the message to stay patient and poised and see every opportunity for success. Describe that, Ted.
Well, you got to, first of all, you got to recognize your genius. You know, you got to stay patient and poised. If you don't recognize your genius and recognize your self worth, you're going to miss when it's there. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? So if you don't stay patient and poised so you can seize the opportunity. A lot of times we just want it right now and you blow right past you and you don't see it. But you got to recognize your genius and realize your self worth in this world to seize every opportunity for success. You understand? It's like kids that come here in high school and I would tell them, this is the opportunity. You only get so many in the world. If you don't recognize it, it'll blow right past you. See, people think that going to high school is not an opportunity. That you
Mm.
just go into high school, so somebody's time to go to high school. But no, it ain't. You preparing this is your last step of development and opportunity to work on what you're gonna become as a man in corporate America. That's what it is.
You never seem surprised at your current and former players doing great things, whether it was Troy Smith winning the Heisman Trophy or Teddy Jr. playing 14 years in the league or Cardale Jones coming off the sideline to lead Ohio State in that playoff run to win the national championship in 2014. Why are you never surprised, Ted? It seems everybody else is. You never are about that greatness.
Well, yeah, because when you work at it, it's automatic. I'm not surprised. That's what we worked at. That was the whole purpose of what we're trying to do. It don't surprise me. Because when you put the work in and you have the right belief, you can achieve it. It's just like baking a cake. If you put all the
Mm.
ingredients in the cake and do everything it takes, and then you put the oven on 350 or 325, whatever it is, and you don't leave nothing out, it's gonna rise. You can't stop it. But if you leave something out, it's not gonna rise. That's the reason I talk about the opt-out people. They want to leave some stuff out, and they expect the cake to rise. It's not. You know what I'm saying? And even in back in the day, they used to call that a whole cake because it stayed flat because you left something out. You know what I'm saying? But it's still gonna be sweet. It's still gonna taste good. It just ain't gonna rise. You understand? And then that's the one your grandmama give you and say, "Hey, boy, take that and eat it." You understand? And but it's the same thing that even though you do everything right, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna be successful either.
Mm.
So you got to be able to handle that as well. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people that do everything right and never get a chance. And there's some people that do everything right and it happens. So nothing is guaranteed in this game of life. And you have to teach that. So, because that's reason a lot of times people tell the kid, if you go do this, life gonna be good for you. It's not true. Some people do everything right and never achieve greatness. Then you got some people that don't do nothing, you understand, and expect to be great. Then you got some people that do everything and become great. So all
Mm.
it is a chance. And if you don't, as long as you work at it, hope God bless you.
Well said, Ted. Just a couple more for you, and I appreciate your time. You've said your joy, your happiness depends on seeing others succeed, that you can't be happy unless you see them happy. That's a tricky thing. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, that's just the way life goes. I'm not in business to be happy for me. I'm in business to be happy for somebody else happiness or success. That's service. That's what God Jesus died on the cross and he left a light and the gift that he gave everybody in that service. And that's what we supposed to do for him giving his life. And if you don't look at it like that, so what you gonna do if you're not serving? What else to do? Then I'm taking. I'm only following the true cause of why Jesus died, to save us. And then the gift is that you serve each other. And that's what it is. I don't know nothing different. We was all saved to serve. That's what it is.
You were diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2012, fought a battle that gave you essentially a 5% chance of survival. You beat it. You've continued to go hammer down. You've said that you'd rather give out, go until you give out, till the body gives out, than rusting out. Talk about that, Ted.
Because it's my duty, to do what I need to do. So I don't, it's my responsibility given from God. Um, when to beat pancreatic cancer had nothing to do with me, it had something to do with God. It had, and he put me back on my feet again. And he gave me a responsibility. So I have to continue to do God's work. And, I can never say end. How do you end a serving? So I got to continue to serve till he tell me it's over. Until the end, I'm just going to keep on running and see what the end going to be.
Ted, there's been a lot of attention paid to what you've done for boys, especially, or a lot of the focus seems to be on the boys, understandable, and of course the Ginn Academy, all boys. But you've always been working for the young ladies too, to help them understand the good things possible for them. What's the biggest threat the
Yeah.
girls
You,
face today? The young ladies face today? What's the biggest challenge they face today?
well, I I think that the biggest challenge that the young ladies face is the same thing that the boys face. Getting a proper understanding of how to be a young lady. They learn how to keep your principles and follow as a lady should. I don't think people are really concentrating on that. I think that they have been forgotten because we concentrate on the boys so much and we forget them. But they need just everything that a boy needs. They need direction, they need love, passion, and understanding. They need all that. And I just think that, you know, the girls, and I've been beat up with the girls about why we didn't have a Ginn Academy for girls. So this year, September 4th, I will be opening up the Ginn Academy for girls.
Oh, big, big. That's great stuff.
Yeah,
Um, Ted, before you
yeah.
go, just want to ask you a bit about the Browns. Do you watch the Browns most weeks? Obviously, you're busy. Do you watch them? Do you go to games?
I go to once or twice if I can fit it in my schedule. But I just think the Browns have mostly everything in the kitchen. They just got to learn how to cook. So same thing with Ohio State. I just think that but it's all based on a belief and everybody buying in.
Love it. And
That
lastly,
means coaches and players.
what is your message to parents, Ted, about being there for their kids? If they're not, bad things happen, right?
My message to the parent is that never give up on your kid, and you got to be with them more so now than ever. The world is a bad place to live in. You know, the concept of living, the concept of raising children is not as important as it was years ago. And we're allowing our kids to raise themselves based on the cell phone, based on this different understanding, social media, and it's very hard. All I can do is tell you as a parent, stay with your kid, create things for your children, because it's so much going on in the world that our kids are getting tricked or they tricking themselves. So you can't give up, and you got to. I don't care how old they are. I don't care if they 13, 14 to 40. You got to be there. You got to keep fighting for them because the world is different.
Ted, thanks so much for taking the time. You have school starting and the season about to kick off. Best to you with all of it as always, and stay well.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.